What's up guys, K up here, and welcome on into Building a Tiny Lego City episode 3. In today's episode we will be building a bowling alley, a fire station, as well as starting to basically lift the entire city. While the back of the city does look pretty ugly now, as I'm working on raising the city up and adding the monorail and stuff, it will look cleaner in the next episode, I promise. I really like this comment by Weekly Bricks about adding a fire station, so I decided that the first building would of course be a fire station. I wanted to use the keys from my typewriter for something, so I decided to make a little fire sign to go above the fire station, and I didn't actually use it for this model. You will see more about that later. This was also the first building I did to experiment with this new sort of window technique that has these very small narrow windows that I really liked and I'll probably use for future models. Besides the new window technique, this is probably one of the simpler, easier models for me to build in the city. It only took me about a half hour. I used a bright red color for that classic sort of fire station vibe. And of course, as I have mentioned in my other episodes, if you have a building that you'd like me to build, put down in the comments and I will definitely consider. I consider all the options. I don't make all the options, but I at least consider yours. So if you have an idea, just leave it in the comments and I will definitely consider adding it into my city. So here's the full finished fire station, and overall I'm very happy how this little guy turned out. I like the little doorway and I did put another street light there. Honestly pretty happy how the new window technique turned out. I'll probably use it in a couple more models at some point, and I also put a little fire truck kind of going out of the garage. I added the little garage and I do like how that looks. As I mentioned earlier, I made this sort of fire logo, but I didn't really like how it fit in with the fire station, but it reminded me of a bowling alley. So I made a bowl sign and got to work on making the bowling alley. I decided to give the bowling alley a sort of tan and yellow color scheme. I've been wanting to make like a bright yellow building for a very long time in the city now, but there's just not that many buildings that are like bright yellow like this. But I decided if there's gonna be any building in my city that's an ugly yellow color, it's gonna be a bowling alley, because bowling alleys in general just aren't very good looking from the outside, at least most of the ones that I've been to. I also actually made a little bowling ball and two small bowling pins that I decided would kind of go up inside, sort of tucked away inside the building, kind of next to the bowl sign. As this build sort of went further and further along, I started to realize that this is my favorite building I've built in my city. I don't know why, I just love this sort of like vintage American bowling alley vibe, I guess, for this building. There's just something about the vintage BOWL sign out front, or the yellow walls, or the bowling pin and the bowling pole sign, or just everything together that just make this my favorite building I've built so far. I don't know about you guys, it's my favorite. Here is the completed bowling alley model, and as I mentioned earlier, I just absolutely love this model. I really like the yellow color on the front of it and the little bowling ball and bowling pin. I just put a little bit of neon sort of behind the bowl sign, and that looks a nice little pop of color. And I like the roof. I also had a little sort of wire wrapping down beyond there. I don't know, I just like how the wire look on there. And this is just my favorite building I've done so far. I feel like it's gonna be pretty hard to top this building. Like, it's just really good. The last thing I sort of worked on for this update is actually starting to raise the city up a level, and I know I've been talking about this ever since episode 1, so I'm gonna try and explain a little bit better here. Essentially, I made a base plate that's 32 studs by 10 studs, so it's about 4 buildings long, and this is going to sit behind the city. It's also going to be 3 to 4 bricks high, and this way I can basically place buildings on top of this, so the city will be at sort of 2 different levels. Well, it might not make a ton of sense now, just wait till next episode, it'll get a lot easier. There's also going to be a working monorail on the part that I'm kind of raising up, so basically you're going to be able to use this sort of like lever thing to take the monorail from forward to backward. Obviously, I don't really have the monorail attached now. Next episode, I will work on getting the monorail attached, and it'll overall be a lot cleaner next episode. But that's gonna do it for episode 3 of building a tiny Lego city. Make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date with my latest content, and I will see you guys later. Peace.